Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to start with problems on liquidation. So before going to the problems, let us understand the small concept of remuneration to the liquidators. Here we are going to pay certain amount to the liquidators for their work. Here we are going to pay the salary on certain percentage basis we are going to pay. How we are going to calculate that? In question only they are going to clearly mention if we are going to pay it on the assets realized. For example, assets realized is 2,50,000, and that we are going to pay into 10% or 5%, whatever the percentage they have mentioned in the question. On that basis we are going to calculate it, but sometimes they are going to give it in the ratio on the for example on the debentures or on the basis of certain things, but when they are going to give it on the payment made to unsecured creditors, that time we have to look after the questions very clearly, because for payment made to unsecured creditors is we can't determine exactly, because payment made to unsecured creditors is depends upon the asset realized, how much amount we got. On that basis sometimes we may have full amount to repay him, sometimes we don't have sufficient amount, not having sufficient amount. We are going to come across these two situations. For example, I am closing down my company. I want to pay 1 lakh to the unsecured creditor. Just for example, I am saying, while liquidating the company, if amount available to pay to the unsecured creditors is full. For example, we are going to pay in an orderly manner, isn't it? First I'm going to pay my legal expenditures, next to the remuneration to the liquidator, then secured creditors, then comes debenture holders, finally we are going to pay it to the unsecured creditors. If the amount is fully available, easily we are going to calculate 1 lakh into so much percentage, how much they have mentioned in the question, that much we are going to calculate. Sometimes we don't have sufficient amount. The amount required is 1 lakh, but asset realized is 5 lakh. When I am paying to secured creditors, I am having only 50,000. So I am paying only 50,000 to the unsecured creditors because I am not having sufficient amount, isn't it? So at this time, how we are going to calculate? I'm going to calculate. I'll write the kind of, it's a small, we can't call it as formula. It is an easy mathematical calculation. Amount available to unsecured creditors into rate of remuneration divided by 100 plus rate. This is how I am going to calculate it. This percentage includes the rate as well, because the value is not yet determined based on the asset realized, based on payments made to the secured creditors and all. I am going to determine the remunerations on the certain calculations basis. So rate by 100 plus rate. This is how we are going to calculate. So while solving the problem, you are clearly going to understand the concept of remuneration. So first question is, this is the question. Yes. Aditri Limited went into voluntary liquidation. I'll take the highlighter. Yeah. voluntary liquidation, its assets realized by 2,10,000. Assets realized 2,10,000, excluding the amount realized by sale of securities by the secured creditor. From the following, prepare liquidator's final statement of account. Okay, this is the information related to assets. Here the following are the informations about the payments made by the liquidator. First, secured creditors 17,500. Security realized 20,000. So secured creditors means we are going to pledge some amount here to the creditors. That security was realized at 20,000 value. Okay. Next, preferential creditors the 3,000, unsecured creditors 1 lakh, debentures having floating charges on assets 1,25,000, liquidation expenses 2,500, liquidators remuneration 3%. See, this is very important. 3% on amount paid to unsecured creditors. Here the amount paid, the amount is itself a question mark. See the question properly. They have not mentioned the amount, how much they are going to pay. They have just mentioned amount paid to unsecured creditors. We don't know the exact value. Based on the assets realized and how much we are going to pay to the all these expenditures remaining on, based on remaining value, we are going to calculate remuneration as well as the amount available for unsecured creditors. Here there is no information about the shareholders, so no need to mention it. So we don't have any information relating them, so we can skip that. So I'll start with the problem. This is the question. Kindly write down the or make a note of the question, then only you are going to understand the problem clearly. Yes. This is the liquidator's final statement of accounts. This is the format. So first we are going to start with a receipt side. Based on the amount realized, then we are going to make the payment. Okay. So receipt side, directly they have mentioned assets realized. Assets realized 2,10,000. Next, in second paragraph you see secured creditor 17,500, realized security realized 20,000. So we have to mention security realized 20,000. These are the total receipts or total assets the company has been realized. Next we are going to pay the payments, liabilities one by one. First we are going to pay secured creditors. We are going to start with the secured creditors. So secured creditors, I will write it in a short form. Total value of secured creditor is 17,500. Next, I am going to mention the liquidation expenditures. Liquidation expenses is 2,500. They have given in the question. If you have question, you will get to know the values exactly. Next, this is an order, guys. In this way only we are going to pay the all the expenditures. First we have to pay to the secured creditors, then legal expenses, then liquidation expenses, next liquidators remuneration, next debenture holders in such case, next preferential creditors, next unsecured creditors, then we are having preference and equity shareholders. Yes, I have written secured creditors, liquidation expenditures. Next I am having liquidators, remuneration. Here we are going to calculate the liquidators remuneration. On what basis we are going to calculate? On the basis of amount available to unsecured creditors. Yes, so lastly we will calculate this. Next point we have debenture holders. Debenture holders, we have the value of 1,25,000. Next, preference creditors, 3,000. Yes, these are the payments which comes before unsecured creditors. Now I am going to write unsecured creditors. We should not write the amount directly, students. We have to calculate the total first. Here we are going to get 2,30,000 as my total. Credit side also should be 2,30,000. So I'll just write down the note. Amount available to unsecured creditors. So this is the small working note I am going to calculate now. So total assets is 2,30,000 minus total payments. We have to add all the payments, that is 17,500, 2,500, 1,25,000 plus 3,000. You have to add all these things. Before that, we have liquidators remuneration, right? So I'll just write it here. See, in question what they have given, liquidators remuneration is based on unsecured creditors. This term unsecured creditors include two concepts. One is preferential creditors as well as unsecured creditors. In the question they have clearly mentioned the value of preferential creditors, isn't it? So the payment of remuneration is going to be on both the values, on preferential creditors as well as unsecured creditors. So 3,000 into 3%, how much we are going to get? So we are going to get 90 rupees. So I'll here write it as a star mark. I'll just mark it as a star mark, so you'll get to know how much I'm going to get. 90. So 90 rupees. Add this 90 rupees to the payments. So we will get total 1,48,090. If you minus it, we are going to get 81,910. This is the value of unsecured creditors. On this value we are going to calculate. What is the formula? See, amount available divided by 100 plus rate into rate. isn't it? So amount how much we are having now? 81,910 divided by 100 plus 3 into 3. We are going to get 2,386. This is how we are going to calculate. Please have a concentration, students. Liquidators remuneration is based on unsecured creditors. The term unsecured creditors includes two creditors. First one preferential creditors, another one unsecured creditors. In this question they have given both terms. I'll show the question. Yes, see, we have preferential creditors as well as unsecured creditors. So have concentration. Unsecured creditors and preferential creditors both comes under unsecured creditors itself. If in question they have not mentioned unsecured preferential creditors, means we can skip it. If they have given, means we have to calculate it directly. For example, in this question they have given 3,000 into how much percentage they have mentioned? 3%. Into 3%, we are going to get 90. This 90 rupees is also included in liquidators remuneration. Have a clear idea about the concept. Okay, so this amount is also deducted, and this is how we are going to solve. So 81,910. Here the balancing figure, now we are going to calculate the actual amount paid to unsecured creditors after deducting the liquidators remuneration. So the amount will be 81,910 minus 2,386. The amount will be 79,524. If you minus 2,30,000 with above expenditures including remuneration, means the amount will be same, or 81,910 minus 2,386 also will be the same value. This is how we are going to solve the problems on liquidation of the company. These are just one part of the calculations. One side will be, debit side will be assets realized, credit side will be payments made. Payments made is very easy. They will mention all the informations directly. Only one twisted part is liquidators remuneration. We are going to calculate it. That particular informations also they will mention it very clearly. Don't need to get confused. Okay, so here based on two things we are going to pay the remunerations. We are two things we are going to calculate the remunerations. First one on based on preferential creditors and unsecured creditors. The based on these both categories we are going to pay the remuneration. Hope you all understood this OVD problem. Please read the question and understand the question, then try to solve the problems.